Have you ever wondered why the price of a new phone is pretty stable, but the second a concert sells out, tickets can cost a fortune overnight? What's the deal with that? Well, it's not random at all. There's a really important economic idea at play, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
All right, to get our heads around this, let's imagine a scenario. Let's say a new online trend just absolutely explodes. All of a sudden, it seems like everybody wants two things: one particular type of toy and olives. Yeah, I know, a super weird combo, but stick with me. Demand for both has just gone through the roof, almost overnight.
Now, you've got this massive surge in demand, and it looks like a golden ticket for two people, a toy factory owner and an olive farmer. You'd think they're both about to be rolling in cash, right? But here's the twist. The way they can respond to this craze is completely different, leading to two totally different outcomes. So who really comes out on top here, and why?
Well, the answer to our little puzzle all comes down to a core economic concept, one that explains exactly how producers react when the market changes. Let's dive in and break it down.
Okay, so the big phrase here is price elasticity of supply, or just PES for short. And yeah, that sounds kind of textbooky, but don't worry, it really just boils down to one simple question. When the price of something goes up, how easily can a producer make more of it? How quick are they on their feet? Are they flexible or are they stuck?
So you might be asking, how do we actually measure this flexibility? Is there a formula? Yep, and it's actually way simpler than it looks. We just take the percentage change in the amount of stuff being supplied, and we divide it by the percentage change in its price. That one number tells you pretty much everything you need to know.
And that number basically sorts everything into two big buckets. On one side, you've got elastic supply. The best way to think about this? It's like a rubber band. When the number you get is bigger than 1, it means producers are super responsive. Even a small price increase can cause them to make a lot more stuff. But on the flip side, you've got inelastic supply. And this is more like, well, a brick. If the number is less than 1, it means that even if prices go sky high, production barely moves. The supplier just can't react quickly.
Okay, so let's get back to our story and see how this plays out in the real world. First up, let's check in with our toy factory owner, who's got this huge spike in demand on their hands.
Now, if we map this out, you can see what's happening. The supply curve for something like toys is usually kind of flat, and that's our big visual clue that it's elastic. So when that huge wave of demand hits, look at this. The price bumps up, sure, but the real story is the quantity. It expands by a ton. The factory can seriously ramp up production to meet all that new demand.
So what's their secret? How can they be so nimble? Well, it's not just one thing. They probably got some machines sitting idle they can fire up for an extra shift. Getting more plastic or other raw materials, usually not a big deal. They can move workers around, maybe hire some temps. And crucially, they might even have a stockpile of toys in a warehouse, just waiting. The whole operation is designed for flexibility.
All right, now let's flip the coin and check in on our olive farmer. For him, this whole situation, well, it's a totally different ballgame.
Just look at this graph. See how steep that supply curve is? That's your visual giveaway for inelastic supply. So when that same demand surge happens, whoa, the amount of olives being produced, it barely budges. He can't just snap his fingers and make more olives appear. So what gives? The price. It just absolutely skyrockets.
And what's the one big reason for this? It all comes down to time. I mean, you can't argue with biology, right? It takes years for a new olive tree to grow and actually bear fruit. So he can't possibly react to a price jump today by giving the market more olives tomorrow. He's working on nature's schedule, not the market's.
And look, this isn't just some made-up story about toys and olives. Once you get this concept of elasticity, you'll start seeing it absolutely everywhere, shaping the prices of all the things we buy and use. That point about time is so important. Let's take a computer maker, for example. In the short run, we're talking just a few weeks, their supply is pretty inelastic. They're limited by their current factory, their current staff, the parts they have on hand. But give them a few months, the long run, and the whole picture changes. They can hire more people, order more components, maybe even expand the factory. Their supply becomes very elastic. Time is that magic ingredient that gives businesses the power to adapt. Okay, let's push this idea to the absolute limit. What if the supply can't change at all? No matter what the price is. Well, we've got a name for that. Perfectly inelastic supply. The PES is zero, zip, nada. And the supply curve is just a straight vertical line because the quantity is totally fixed. Need a perfect real-world example? Think about tickets to the World Cup final. There are only so many seats in that stadium,
Period. They can't just add a new grandstand an hour before the match starts, right? The supply is totally fixed, so when demand goes crazy, the only thing that can move is the price.
And this isn't just theory. Let's look at some real numbers for coffee beans, which, are a lot like our olives. Just look at these swings. Between July and August 2018, the price plummets by over 40%. But the actual output? It barely even flinches. That PES number is tiny. This is a classic example of inelastic supply in the real world, and it's the reason why the price of stuff like coffee can be such a roller coaster.
All right, so we've gone through the theory, we've seen some examples, but let's get to the bottom line here. Why should you care about any of this? What's the big deal? Well, let's just quickly wrap up with the main takeaways. First, PES is basically the secret code that explains why some prices are rock solid and others are on a wild ride. It's also a great way to think about how flexible a business is, how fast it can pivot when things change. And this stuff is super important for anyone in business or government making big decisions. But if you walk away with just one thing, let it be this: time changes everything. Given enough time, pretty much any supply can get more flexible.
So from now on, when you see a price for something suddenly shoot up, or you can't find something on the shelves, you'll have a new lens to see it through. You won't just ask, "Oh, I wonder my demand is so high." You'll ask the much smarter question, how elastic is the supply?